Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box right over here. And I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Also comments, share the videos. All these things help the YouTube Stunthangar channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships starting at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And hit the join button right below. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account every month, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Now, with your memberships, you have access to unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. And Sparky and I can tell in the YouTube chat box who are members. You have a special emoji that's next to your name, so we can see who are the supporting patrons and who aren't. So anyways, now you also can do the super chat, which is located over here, and you can donate any amount, hopefully, a decent amount. I think you're getting quality information. I mean, Sparky has 55 years plus of building and flying. John Jordan, when I mentioned Saturday at John's, that's John Jordan's garage. John is a craftsman himself, extraordinaire. And so it's a lot of information. Plus our panel, I mean, we have former world champions, former national champions on our panel. We have, incredible. I mean, you're getting help from probably the best of the best, really. And so for 17 cents a day, please support it. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. This is not mine. I just come here and host a show every Monday and Friday night. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. All the words and letters are there. Flying Control Line Stunt. And when you go there, look for the 2019 AMA National Championship video. which Sparky shot of me flying my first official flight at the U.S. Nationals, and I was flying Sparky's plane, which is a Junar XL, and he's refinishing that plane. If you've been watching Sparky lately, you can see how he's doing the trim. He's repainted it, refinished it, and it looks different than the plane that I flew. And anyways, if you go to that video and put a comment or a question, I'll be quickly notified, because that's my YouTube channel and this one isn't. So anyways, with that being said, I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at Stunthangar forum. So if you're there waiting, I'm going to post that link right, or I should say right now. Right now. My bad English. Right now. So that's posted, and let me see here. I'm going to go to YouTube at what I call the control panel, so I can see how it's streaming and see if we have any people in the chat box, and usually we do, and I appreciate you guys out there doing that. And let's see here. Oh, well, my computer's a little bit slow. I even can see when I move, it's a little bit jarring. It's not a smooth transition. So come on, computer. I'm waiting for my computer. Let's see if I can help it by getting rid of some of this stuff. I hope everybody has had a good day. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Come on. Here we go. All right, finally. Fine, I'm inside Sparky's channel dashboard. Hey, Brendan.
Yeah.
Engstrom. Thanks, guys, for coming in. I appreciate that. I just have a few little things to do still. Just give me a moment.
All right.
So it looks like we have 11 concurrent viewers, 7 likes. If you haven't hit the like button or smashed it, please do that. That helps the analytics of the show. And I see Dennis H is in there. He said, like provided, sound is good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Dennis. And let's see here. And so Gary Sinclair is getting ready to come in. And hey, Gary, thanks for coming in.
Yep. Thank you.
So what's going on with Brandon and Angstrom came in first? Let me ask them. So what's going on with you guys?
We'll show you.
All right. Ooh, look at that. Oh man, that's looking good, Angstrom.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it big.
Yeah, we got the wings installed, obviously. Got the battery box, for the nose set in. So
very nice. That's looking good.
Yeah, coming along. We're gonna take care of the rudder and stuff tonight. Then probably start monocoating the fuselage. Then it'll come to the flaps, and I don't know. We're moving. We're moving along.
You are. So what color is it going to be, the fuselage and the rudder?
Let's see. Let's grab it. So we're going with a kind of a bright blue. But
oh, that'll look nice.
If you've seen the flaps, I don't know how well the color probably doesn't show very well on here.
It looks. I see the elevators.
Yeah, the elevator and the flaps are kind of it's probably really hard to tell. It's like a metallic aqua.
Nice.
So we're going to do the flaps with that, and then we decided to do the fuselage in a blue, and then of course the silver wings here. So
very nice. Now is that what kind of film are you guys using? Is that monocoat or ultracoat or Coverite?
You know what? I don't even have the coverings on it to know what it all is. I'm going to tell you that we've been to a couple of. One, we went to a hobby shop that was selling out, and so we bought a giant box of monocoat. And then we went to an RC plane auction, and I bought another just giant box of monocoat and various things. So,
oh, very cool. Hey, that's the way to do it.
We probably got about 60 rolls, which I don't know if we'll ever use in our lifetime, but we got such good deals on it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, nothing wrong with using film. I used film most of my early modeling career. I think in the beginning, I actually did some painting. And then when I discovered Monocoat, it was sold as if it was the best thing since sliced bread. And
Yeah.
so I jumped on that bandwagon. And so I have a lot of film myself, maybe not 60 rolls, but I have, I'd say at least 30 or so rolls. I have a lot of film.
Yeah, now I will say that I ran into a roll we were gifted from a guy that's helped us on some stuff. He gave us a silver roll that I then started trying to work with it. And I think it started kind of crumbling and falling apart. So I assume this stuff doesn't always hold up over time.
Wow, I've never even seen that happen. I've never had film crumble or show any sort of deterioration like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I barely got into it, but I started using it, and I was like, "What in the world is this stuff doing?" And it had deteriorated to a point where, yeah, it was not fun.
Past its best before date.
Right.
Hey, Lynn, how are you doing?
Hey guys,
Hi,
good
man.
to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hey, as we look to put this rudder on in the back, do we need to epoxy this on, or our fuselage is balsa? This is balsa. Can we just throw CA on there and get it to stick that way? What's the
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that'll save us some time not having to epoxy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't use any more epoxy than you have to. The stuff's heavy.
Okay.
Yeah. And you might want to even try like the thick on that. It'd be easier to glue that on with thick or medium.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do.
You can use thin, but thin it gets away from you sometimes. And
It's too fast. You can't adjust it at all.
Yeah, we use that plenty of times, and it'll just get going all over the place. So yeah, I do have some thick, and I naturally default to the thin because it just gets used so much. But that's a good point.
Yeah, there's certain applications where I like the medium and the thick because it just gives you more time and it stays put.
Right.
Yeah, I like the medium unless I'm trying to get glue to go in somewhere where I can't get it in. Like, then I'll use the thin. But normally if I'm just doing regular gluing, I always use medium.
Yeah.
That way I have a little bit of adjustment time. Whereas with the thin, you have no adjustment time. As soon as it hits, it's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or your fingers are stuck to it.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
there's no room for error with thin. What I
No.
use thin for is for running glue into things. If I'm trying to run some glue into a crack or run glue into a joint or something where I can't physically put it in because it's still together, it's great for that. But for actually gluing things together, I almost never use thin.
Angstrom's shaking his head yes here. He knows all too well that there are plenty of times where it's like, hey, can we get this in here? And he's trying to be my glue man, trying to, get into tight spaces. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I buy those. I think it's 0.1 millimeter or maybe it's 1 millimeter, but these transfer pipettes. Because I actually don't even use the CA bottle. I actually just use the transfer pipette, take the CA out of the bottle into the pipette, and then I have a lot more control where I want to place it. And I find that, as a matter of fact, because I use it so much, I actually use thin probably in instances when I probably should use medium, but I have so much control with that pipette. I
go through those pipettes like they're going out of style because they always get clogged, and then I end up cutting them down shorter and shorter and shorter.
I have a big bag I bought off of eBay, I think, and
Perfect.
Or maybe Amazon, but I have a bag full of those pipettes.
Yeah, we got about 600 of the tip capillaries. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, off of eBay, maybe $10 or something. But
I got to get some more of those. I don't have any right now.
Yeah, my plan's to hand them down to Angstrom, and then he'll hand them down to his kids and stuff. I bought so many. So.
Perfect.
But by then they'll probably have some other technology and be like, what?
Yeah, what are those?
I know. Yeah, because back in the day, we used to use Android. So I imagine things are going to continue to progress and get better and better. The thing is that I struggle with is trying to accept some of the new things. Like I haven't tried the urethane adhesives because I'm just kind of stuck in my ways. They got some new urethane adhesives I hadn't even bothered to try yet.
I haven't tried it either.
Yeah, creature of habits, right?
Yeah, I use CA for almost everything. I use a little bit of white glue if I'm really trying to keep things light. And I use this epoxy as sparingly as I can. Like I'll use it around motor mounts and stuff like that. Or if I feel something really needs to be strong, I'll use the epoxy, but otherwise I don't use it much.
Okay, good to know.
Hey, Lynn, did I tell you that I received, maybe I'll tell everybody, I received a new Strega Arc.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
This
Yeah, I've
week.
got one of those too. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
Good.
excited about that. So,
That's great. Good for you.
and I was flying another Strega today. I flew the one that Ruben McBride made. I refer to it as my
Oh, the-
white Strega.
Yep.
Yeah, I took that
Okay.
out today, and
How
it's
did it
amazing.
fly?
You know, it flies really good. I'm actually
Okay.
there's some trim issues, but I'm excited about it. It's a good flying. So Ruben, if you're listening, I took out the white Strega today and flew it only a couple
So did
times.
he pass
but
it down to you?
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I got it
Perfect.
at a Wood and Arrows contest a couple of years ago.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
great.
because Ruben didn't like it. It's too big for Ruben. It was,
Yeah,
I guess,
fly it to death.
yeah, it was walking Ruben around. Just a big plane. I think it's 80 ounces. It was just
Perfect.
too much for Ruben.
Just the way we like them, Charles.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it to you first. I know that
That's
you're
awesome.
my partner in crime.
You
As
betcha.
far
If
as,
they aren't,
heavy
they,
planes and big
yeah,
planes.
80, if it isn't 80 ounces, it better have an 80-inch wingspan.
I know. But you know, a big plane does. I don't really like smaller planes.
Oh, I hear you.
Matter of fact, I had a gentleman approach me with an opportunity I couldn't refuse. I had an Olympic that he had given me before, and I really wasn't using it. I wasn't, you know. So he wanted. He was kind of feeling nostalgia. He wanted it back.
Oh, I've
And,
done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people give me planes. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna name either individual, but I had someone give me a invitation, and then they asked for it back, you know, nicely. They said, "Is there any way I can get it back?" And we made a deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was great. So I gave it back to him. And then in this case, this person offered me something I couldn't refuse. Really, I gave him the Olympic and 2 engines, and it had a real nice Bali prop on it. And in exchange for that, I got a Rojet 76. A used one.
You can't beat that deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're both happy because he was flying the Olympic today, and you know, and he was like, "Flies this as good as I remember it. It's a good
Well,
flying
I've never.
plane."
I have 2 Rojet 76s, and I haven't run either one of them, so it'll be interesting for both of us.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that.
No,
'Cause
either do
I have plenty of big block motors.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
not that I don't appreciate it. I appreciate it. I've
No,
always
no,
heard.
but that's
I've
good.
always heard about the Rojet 76.
Yeah.
And you're always kind of curious, you know.
Just watch the Windy videos. He uses them. He used a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see.
They're a good motor.
Yeah. Oh, I've
Nothing
seen
wrong
them
with
run.
Yeah.
I've seen a Rojet 76 run in action, and so I know it's a good motor.
Yeah.
But that K77 today was just in the white Strega.
Yeah.
Man, it had such a sweet run. I have that.
What prop were you running?
Today I had a 13.4
Okay.
on 63-foot lines. I don't know what the RPM was.
That's pretty short lines.
Yeah, I probably could have. You know, it was my first flight. I just didn't. I don't remember. I haven't flown the plane in 2 years. I looked at my flight log, and it was 2 years ago that I flew the plane.
Like
So
I'm running my K77 in the big Cardinal, in the big Windy Cardinal, and I'm running it on 67-foot lines, and I'm using a 13.6 top flight Super M prop with the big paddle blade.
Okay.
And I'll
I'm
tell
sure
you, that thing is sweet.
I'm sure if I go to a 6-inch pitch, I can probably extend the lines out.
Most definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Use
So-
the power.
What was
Yeah.
your tide? What was your left tide?
I was kind of counting 1,000, 2,000. It's not exact, but it was about 5 seconds.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you're spinning that engine really hard with that low pitch prop, like it's really going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're able to fly it on 63-foot lines, because the engine isn't doing anything. It's
Yeah.
just spinning fast. I mean,
I
it's not
agree.
under any load, but it's really spinning.
I did not know what prop to use. So
Yeah,
I looked at my flight log and that's what it showed, from 2 years ago. And
yeah.
I believe that I'm getting better and better as time goes on. So that's kind of where I was at 2 years ago. But
Well,
I,
next
when I
time
get out there
try a
again, I'm
couple of
gonna.
feet. Yeah, next time out, try a couple of feet longer lines and put a 6-pitch prop on them. Watch the difference.
Oh, I
It
bet.
really made a difference with mine, because I was running a 13.4 on mine. And I thought, holy cow, this just doesn't seem to have enough I put a 13.6 on it. And it's like, whoa, did that ever wake it up?
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly. I mean, I did on the Red Strega, I did quite a bit of prop testing. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And even I was listening to Wendy recently, and he was talking about, getting the biggest prop you can turn and then just cut it down little by little. And then once you get wimpy as far as the thrust, then you go back. So you just try to find that spot where you.
Yeah, finding that happy spot is the deal. That's right.
Yeah. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the white Strega, but the white Strega seemed to fly pretty nice. I was flying with a little bit of a outboard wingtip upright, and then outboard wingtip down inverted. So, and it does have a Ruben built in a trim tab
On the
on the
edge.
flaps, and it's adjustable.
Use it.
Adjustable one. So I'm going to use it.
Yeah,
I started using
that's what
it.
you need to do. If it's up one way and down the other, adjust that tab. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Hey, John Miller, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
So what shirt do you have on today? What do you have on?
This is a good one. I like this one. Let me stand up so you can read it.
You make it big so everybody can see it.
Oops,
That's what I do. I grow a beard and I know things.
That is a great shirt.
I love that. And that is true. You know things.
sometimes they might not be right, but I know them.
Yeah, I've showed mine off before one other time, but I'll let Angstrom read it here because I can't read it backwards. But go ahead.
You can read it. Warning, may spontaneously talk about airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. That totally is me. I mean, I even in the grocery store, if we get in the conversation, I'll bring up airplanes some way.
It's called airplane mouth disease.
Yeah, whatever you're into, you talk about.
Yeah. I used to have runner's mouth disease. I was a runner back in the day. Had runner's mouth disease.
Yeah, I can imagine. You see another guy with a good pair of running shoes. You go, oh, I like those shoes. I've been looking at them.
All you talk about is racing and running, and all you talk about is model airplanes now, and painting, and sanding, and doping.
Sanding. You become an expert in sanding.
I'm not doing any sanding now. I'm painting. I'm the hell with the sanding. I've had enough.
Let me ask about sanding right now. One question on this fuselage model, and as we got the rudder here, do you leave things edgy, or do you take off a little bit of that edginess on it? Or does it even matter? Is it personal preference?
Personal preference.
Okay.
My personal preference is up on a rudder, a vertical rudder, I'll put a little round on it. But on the elevator, I'll leave that like 1/8 of an inch in sharp square cut. Same with the flap.
Okay.
Almost sharp, not quite sharp. Otherwise, your paint won't stick to it.
Yeah.
And
But you get a cleaner air separation.
that's right. Exactly.
At the end by having it come to a sharp, and instead of sanding it down to a little point, you don't get a clean air separation.
Yeah, leave it flat. Exactly.
All right.
Let me catch up with the chat, you guys.
I gotta go put something in the hanger.
All righty. Tom Greasy, he says, I will be on the channel in a little bit, setting up my presentation on Vanessa CG machine. That is great. I look forward to that. And then Tom Ramos says, like provided. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Dennis H, he says, hey, I still have a couple of tubes of Android. LOL.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I had some Android. I would just like to uncap it and just have the aroma.
I
in
don't
it,
want to.
just for old memory's sake. And then Tom Creasy says, wasn't the smell of Android awesome? That's exactly what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
The smell of Android is awesome. And then Dennis H says, yeah, it was. LOL. Then Tom Creasy says, Creasy, excuse me, Tom Creasy. He says, LOL, and he has a smiley face with tears coming out the eyes. And Dennis H says, still have some old red label Aerogloss too. Yeah,
Wow.
I have a box of green Aerogloss. Yeah, I bought it for the jars mostly. And that stuff
Wow.
smells good too. That does. That Aerogloss. You know what? Let's get some Aerogloss and some Android.
Oh my God.
Man, I tell you.
Get everybody airplane drunk.
Yes. Why don't I buy Klotz synthetic lubrication
Yeah.
lubes.
So
And
do
they
I.
sell a what do you call those things? It's like a candle, you light it up and it has the aroma. I mean, they actually sell
Incense.
well, it's not incense. I guess you can call it incense, but they sell this item which has the smell of Klotz.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I guess they love their product, so they actually will sell you this thing. You light a candle to it, and you have the smell of Klotz. And I'm thinking they should have some Android and some Aerogloss, in that same.
Yeah, and one for castor fuel. That'd be perfect.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
yeah.
You'd be sold out in a week.
I'm telling you, man, if we could just have in our garage that thing, that smell of castor or
Wouldn't
incense.
bother my wife. I could light it up in here. She smells it all day anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, our wives, I know that I know they know a lot because we talk about this stuff all the time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
My wife tells me how to do stuff. It blows my mind sometimes. She'll say, dial that in a little bit. It's running too fat. Oh, what?
That's great, man.
I'll apply
tell
a
you-
pattern. She'll sit there and watch. And she'll say, you need to dial that in a little. It's running way too fat. Oh my,
Wow. Naomi, I'm impressed, Naomi.
oh my Lord.
Naomi, that is pretty good. Now, my wife Charity, one time for my birthday, she went to the hobby store and purchased a gallon of fuel for me. Now, mind you, I have all different kind of planes, and sometimes right now I'm flying planes that are on synthetic, no castor. But then there've been times where I'm flying a plane that's castor, and nitro. So she comes home with this jug of fuel, and it's the fuel that I'm using right now. I was so amazed because I have in my garage, I have, fuel that's for my my Chipmunk, fuel for this plane.
They're a lot sharper than you think, Charles.
I was so amazed. I go, how did you know which one to get? She goes, I listen to you talk about this all the time.
Yeah. They know.
Hey, Howard, what's going on?
Not much.
So you're done with the painting?
Oh, well, I'm polishing now.
Wow, man, that's making progress. That's great. Well, that's
I'm
right.
in
Well,
the
you were
middle.
sanding. You were sanding on Monday. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm at the stage where the painting's still going bad from time to time.
Well, I picked up my impact. I have a really good friend, Bob Brooks. I just ran it by him last week. I think last Saturday. I said, I told him about the incident with me running into the pitcher's mound and damaging the impact. And he said, you want me to fix it? And I said, oh man, that'd be so great, 'cause I hardly have any time with everything I got going on. So he goes, you want to come by today? I'm like, yeah. So I came by today. I picked it up a couple days ago. It's all the damage is fixed. I just need to tissue it and dope it and put a finish on it if I like. So
Wow.
I'll be doing some doping pretty soon.
Marvelous.
Yeah, so that's great. Because I really was using the impact as a test bed for the K77 with the tune pipe setup.
Do you want to
The,
see where mine's at?
Yeah, sure.
I'll bring it up.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. And let me see here, on the chat, Dennis H says, oh, excuse me, Tom Creasy, he says, perfect after hour party, Aerogloss and Ambroid. Maybe I should put that in the link on Stunthangar. Come for the after party. We have Ambroid and Aerogloss, aromatherapy.
Don't forget sanding dust.
Oh yes. I was looking at it. Matter of fact, a friend of mine, I didn't bring it. Oh, I did bring it. A friend of mine met me at the flying field today. And he gave me this old magazine from 1978. And I was just looking at it. And there was a section on tips and trips. I mean, tips, and stuff like that. And he was talking about sanding in a large plastic bag if you live in an apartment or in a trailer or something. And I go, that is so ingenious, And I actually do a lot of sanding in my garage, and I probably could, some pieces I could sand inside a plastic bag. I thought that was a simple but genius idea.
You'd be the Charles in the bubble.
Yeah.
The bubble
I
Charles.
should probably share that with Sparky, because he's doing sanding in his apartment, I think.
Yeah. Lynn's got something he's going to show us.
Oh, there we are, sleeping at the wheel here. Hang on, Lynn.
Okay,
That's looking good, by the way. Let me make you big.
coming along.
Ooh, that is pretty. This is the bear, right?
Yeah, it's the bear. It's getting there.
Wow.
It's not red.
It's not red, no red.
Wow, that is neat.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, that looks really good. Are you gonna paint the fences or
The witch?
the fences on the stab?
Yeah, there's lots of stuff still to be painted yet. I haven't painted the canopy yet. I haven't painted any of the lettering on it yet.
There'll be
Wow.
red
See,
on there.
you can see where I had some overspray on the blue out there.
Yeah. There'll be red on there, I know, because the
Well, they'll be red.
the
I haven't
Canadian maple leaf is
It's
red.
got to have the Canadian maple leaf on the tail. You can see where the tape is, maybe if I move it over a bit. It's taped off, but you can't see it really.
Yeah.
But it's coming, little by little.
Looks
Wow,
good.
I like those wheel pants. Those wheel pants look nice and sharp.
Thank you. Yeah, it's coming along.
It is coming.
Couple
along.
more
Very
weeks,
nice.
it should be just about there, maybe 3.
Wow,
Is that black?
looks-
No, it's dark blue. It's insignia blue. Brodak insignia blue.
Okay.
And this is Brodak sky blue. And what I did is I just very lightly sprayed it so you can kind of see through it, and it looks a bit like clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. I did the
Very
same thing on the fuse
All right. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah.
That
instead
looks
of doing
really
it
good.
solid. So yeah, it's
That is
coming
gonna
along
be a
okay.
good looking airplane, Lynn. That looks really
Well,
good.
thank you. It's coming. I'll show you again in a few weeks when it's done.
What's it weighing now?
38 ounces.
That's not bad.
Yeah, 38, and it'll probably gain another ounce or 2 ounces. That would be my guess.
So you probably got 40 plus the engine.
I'd say 40 plus the motor, the pipe, and the tank, and the prop.
Try to remember, that should be about it.
So it's going to come in around 60. It's going to be close to 60 ounces.
What's the square inches on it?
500 and no, I'd have to check. I'm guessing.
Got to be bigger than 500.
Got to be 600, around 650.
Yeah, yeah.
650, sorry, around 650 or 655, something like that.
I'm trying to figure out what the wing loading is going to be with that.
I got tape on the bottom here.
I see it right out by your. At least you got the tip weight box on the right side of the wing.
And see, the bottom's gray. It'll be a light gray on the bottom.
Oh
Cool.
wow.
And when I get all my logos and everything on it, I'll show you again.
Yeah.
Wow, that is looking
Okay.
good, Lynn.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? Kathleen, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are
Hey,
you?
Thanks. I'm doing well. Thanks for coming in. What time is it there? In
It's 9 in the morning. It's
Oh, okay.
wow.
early already.
Oh
very
boy.
good.
Yeah, it's currently we are having a very long holiday in Indonesia. It's like Christmas in the States.
Oh, cool.
Wow, great.
So yeah, came back to my parents' house. So no flying today, no flying this weekend.
All
Just
right.
gonna catch up with you guys.
And that is
That's great.
great. Now, am I saying your name right? I hate to butcher people's names. How do you say your name correctly?
It's caffeine.
Caffeine.
Yep.
Okay, caffeine. All right, cool. Well, welcome again, caffeine. And by the way, caffeine came in the after party. I think it was Monday night, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was pretty
Awesome.
so treat. So he's a like a novice pilot. He's been flying and he's looking to do more maneuvers and do more in stunt. Unfortunately, he's a man on an island by himself. He does not have anybody near him close by. So he's going to help. We're going to help him with any
That's
questions
great.
he has and help him progress.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let me see. I'm going to change back to the gallery view. And so here we go. All right. So Tom Creasy. Oh, I already read that already. Okay, very good.
Hey, Lynn,
Yes.
where do you cross over to come to the States?
Oh, normally we used to always cross over at Buffalo, but now I've moved further away. So now we're going to cross over at Detroit or Sarnia.
All right.
Okay.
So you took the Peace Bridge, did you?
Before? Before?
Yeah, going into Buffalo there.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tom
just
Creasy's
curious.
in the house. Thank you, Tom, for coming in.
I do.
There's
Hey,
40.
everybody. Oh,
Do you have an extra tab open?
Somebody
I've
does.
got some bad computer waves going on here. Everybody's locking up.
Oh, really? It's too bad.
We're
It
getting
sounds like you
double
have
image.
it
Yourself out.
sounds like you have an extra window open, Tom. Because we're getting the loop since you came in.
Okay, I'll get off of here and come back in and see what that do.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
I'll be back, Charles. I got to get this airplane out of here before I step on it.
Yes, yes. Don't want to do more repairs.
All right. Can I ask a question to
Oh,
Brandon?
please do. Please go ahead, Catherine. Let me say hi to Mark Wise real quick when he comes in.
Yep. Hi, Brandon.
Hello.
So go ahead.
Great top.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming in, Mike. Appreciate it. And looks like Mark Wise is coming in. And Kathleen, go ahead and ask your question.
All right, Brandon. I saw your post on building your twister using the wing jig.
Yes.
I'm currently building this. I'm having the same problem, I guess. With the wing jig is not long enough. My jig is like 40-inch, so it's only I can only build like one wing panel. How do you join those two wing panels?
Yeah, after you got them done. Now we're not an expert builders by any means. This is kind of our first run at a lot of this stuff. But what it was is after you have the two separate pieces created, then you're able to just move those rods to the middle of both of them. And I still had some kind of things stabilizing on the end to be able to then join them. So that's how I did it.
All right. Did you put the rods on the hydral when you join the two wings, or you just join it you just insert the rods without putting back into the.
Yeah, I mean the rod spacing should be this at the same point on your ribs through both sets, so that the holes are the same. So yeah, at that point you're able to just kind of put the rods between the two wings, and they should be everything should be lining up nice and good. I don't know if others have thoughts on kind of how they do the things, or you can buy longer rods, I guess. But
Okay.
that's how we did it with the shorter stuff.
All right. Thanks. And did you use the steel rods?
Yes. Yep. Someone had given me the idea before. Actually, I had bought 2 sets of steel rods, so I had four rods, and someone had tried to get me to drill out the ends of it and put a little, a connector piece to make super long rods. But I had, as the 2 rods are coming together, it's almost impossible to drill it just right to get 2 rods that go straight together. So
Can't do it. It's almost
Yep.
impossible.
Yep.
This person thought it was a great idea and had done it so many times. It just looked like garbage. So I did one half wing at a time and then put it on.
I've seen some guys take aluminum arrows shafts
Mm-hmm.
and screw them together to make one long rod.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, I think the steel rods, just like what you guys are talking about, not the full ones, but just a half a wing at a time. I
Mhm.
think that's an awesome way of building a straight wing.
All right. Cool. But
I've got little holders that I built that I set my rods on after I put my ribs in.
One of my concern is when joining the two wing panels using the steel rods is the steel rod is heavy. I'm afraid that when I join the two wing panels together by using the steel rods in the middle, it will like break the wing panels, I guess. Or should I get more light kind of rods like aluminum rods or
Well, you're taking them out after, aren't you?
excuse me?
You're taking them out. You're not leaving them in,
I'll
are
be
you?
right back.
You don't want to go aluminum or carbon fiber.
All right.
Hey, Mark, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And Al Fierro, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Charles. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mark.
You guys hear Kathleen's question? He's from Indonesia, and he's like a novice level pilot and builder. And he had a question regarding building the plane on rods. You know, the Brodak system, I don't know if it's the Brodak is using, but usually it's just one wing panel at a time you build. I'm used to building the whole wing at one point, not in 2 halves. So I have no experience joining them together, so I really didn't say anything. But did you guys have any experience that you guys can extend to Catherine?
One thing you can do is, if you're building one half at a time, when you get the second one done, slide the rod so they're halfway out on the root end.
Yeah.
And then slide the other wing onto it. And so that you got the rods connecting the 2 halves together as you connect the 2 halves of the wing together.
And then when you get the wing joined, all the spars and so forth, then just slide the rods all the way down to one end and out.
Yep.
All right. I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kevin, it's good to have you here.
And it looks like Philip Bailey is going to be joining us shortly. So, Tom, if you're ready to do a show and tell on the Vanessa, I'm all ready to go.
How's my sound? Am I sounding okay?
You sounding good.
Much better.
Okay. Yep, a lot better then.
Yeah, you're doing good. No, no looping.
Good. Okay. There's two ways to hook up your line to your machine. One way is you go from the leading edge to the trailing edge. This string here and the front string will go underneath and go all the way back here and back up. If you do it that way, when you make your adjustment here, it will slide. So what I do, there's the second way is to bring the front ones. See how this loops around? You got 5 loops right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one here goes to the back. And the forward loop that wraps around this way goes to the here, to the front. You tie this off right here. That goes to this line. So that way, when you do adjust this back and forth, your plane will move up and down and the way it's supposed to.
All right.
Does everyone follow how to hook it up?
Well,
Always go for the leading edge of your wing and to the trailing edge of your wing. Don't spread these out. Don't spread this forward out to here. You got to be right touching your leading edge
okay.
and your trailing edge.
I follow you.
Okay. Then what I did is this piece here is a perfect 90 degrees with this 1x2. This
Okay.
here is my clamp that I tighten down because these spin clockwise and counterclockwise. That's what moves your plane up and down. This here I got is a clunk out of an ARS remote control gas tank. And right here is a fishing leader that I soldered to it. And on the end of it, I just took a sewing pin needle head and glued to the end of it. That is my plumb bob.
Okay.
Now to set the plumb bob up, if you notice right here, this string holding my plumb bob up hits this right here. That will throw the plumb bob off because look how thick the dowel rod is.
Right.
You see, you want this plumb bob to be in the center of this dowel rod to go down. Well, it's still kind of hard to center it. What I should have done is when I drilled this hole in and extend this rod, I should have went a little bit forward. And that way the string would be perfectly centered vertically of this dowel rod. So right now it's the 3/32. It's a 3/32 rod. So it's off half that distance right now, but it's close enough. Okay, that's how you build this thing. And these are real easy to wrap around. And if you don't wrap these right on both sides, identical,
Right.
it won't work for you. You'll figure it out, but it's easy to do. This side, you wrap it clockwise. This side here, you wrap it counterclockwise, and you get the same wrap. Now, everybody knows that when you set up your aircraft, your wing and your fuselage, your incidences are 0. I don't know, on my elevator, I set mine at 0. I know that I've heard that sometimes use a half or a positive 1 degree. I'm not familiar with that, but I've heard people messing around with the incident degree of the horizontal stabilizer. But mine, I set at 0. So I know that to be able to make this machine work, you got to have your aircraft level.
All right.
This wire here that goes to the wingtip, that is because I got weight on that right wing and it wants to fall over because it's heavy. So this is just a stabilizer to hold my wing level. Now what we do is we come back here now, since we got the Vanessa machine all hooked up, figure out how to put it on. Then what we do here this little level, I took one of them little torpedo levels, you know,
Yeah.
that you use in
Line
construction,
level.
and you
Yeah.
just cut it up and you cut that level tube out.
All right.
Okay, now I know this is a plane that I've had here that I had the 16-ounce finish weight on it. Okay, so guess what? I'm kind of screwed a little bit because my CG now is too nose heavy. I'm setting my after you get that level in the back there set up like I do, then you move to the wing here. You start from the center line of the leading edge and measure back to where your center of gravity is, your CG on your machine. On this aircraft, it's 2 3/4. So that's 2 1/4. The line in between the 2 1/2 and 2 1/4, of course, is the 1/8 inch mark. So 2 3/8.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 2 3/8 to balance my plane out perfectly.
Right.
Okay, now we come back over here. This is kind of hard to do. Here, I'll just turn the plane, I guess. All right. Let that stabilize a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this. I'm going to turn this counterclockwise. Watch the level.
Yeah.
See the level move?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So what you do, now I'm going to move it clockwise. And what we want is to get this thing back to level. Like a little moored, huh?
There you go.
Okay. There we go. All right. We got it. Now, this airplane is what I did to it was because it was so heavy, I needed to know where to put this engine.
All right.
Okay. I had a 46 OS on it, and I put this 52 OS 4-stroker on it. And what I did was I just made a hanger that went right around here, and I just hung it. And I hung it in I set it up where the crankshaft, it hang from the crankshaft. So I tried to make sure, you know, because you want to make sure that when you move your motor, because Charles, you was wondering about where to set your motor.
Right.
Front or back. This is what I used to be able to decipher that, and it worked perfect. I just hung it off of here, my motor, and I moved it where I needed it. Well, I ended up moving this an inch forward. And look where I'm at right now. You see, I'm off 3/8 of an inch.
Right.
For being perfectly balanced. And my airplanes, when I fly, I know I'm a beginner, but I tell you, I've flown a nose heavy plane and I've flown a tail heavy plane, and I prefer the tail heavy plane. That's just me though. I seem like I can control my plane better, and it corners better for me of how I control the handle. So anyway, you can get this dialed in, and what I like about it is I see a problem. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to correct it. And so I added some weight in the back right here. Right there, that's exactly 1.5 ounces of lead weight. Of course, I had to add my tail weight. You know, my tail gear, my wheel
Yeah,
back
right.
there.
Right.
I haven't got my push rod yet, you know, in yet. And I've got a control horn that I've got to bolt on there. And I've got my wheels on. So it's kind of glad that I had this set up because now I know where I'm at before I paint,
Right.
you know. So what I'm going to do is when I get back here and I'm going to start painting, I'll paint on more coats of color and more coats of clear on the back here.
Right.
That'll
Right.
help me get the weight that I need on the back. But see that elevator, it only weighs 2.5 ounces now. My old one weighed 5.6.
Wow.
So see, I took 3 ounces off the tail end of this thing, and I can't remember what my moment is. I like the way Dennis was talking about how he measures his moment from the nose to the trailing edge of the elevator, or to the trailing edge from the nose. I like the nose deal better than I do where people measure from, you know, from the trailing edge to the back. It makes more sense to me, I think.
Makes fun
But
of.
anyway, this isn't for everybody, but I like it because the type of OCD I have. So, you know, but what I like is I know what I have on my first flight. And yeah, there's balance machines, and I've tried it. I've used to use the eraser, but I was doing something wrong. I was cussing too much because I want to balance my plane. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know it's nose heavy, but dang, how am I supposed to add some weight or whatever to find out how much I need? So I'm
Right.
like, this eraser crap not working for me. Then I got the Great Plains one where it kind of slides over, right? That was closer. That I could deal with. And then when I come across this thing, I can actually dial it in and you know, I can be real particular about it.
Yeah, I noticed. I see that. Now, how did you come across the Vanessa CG machine? I've never heard of it until you showed it to me a couple years
Well,
ago.
all you got to do is go to Leonardo da Vinci. He's got it set up. That's how airplanes very first time. That's how they was weight and balancing their plane. They was lifting it in the air and using a plumb bob. So this thing here is really ancient. You know, the beginning of aviation time. And of course, if you go on the internet, you can type it in, and you get a lot of you get a lot of modelers, a lot of RC guys use it because sometimes they got some really large planes, and most of them use this on their really large planes to hoist them up in the garage, and they can actually see exactly where they're at, and they can move stuff inside the fuselage and move it as ballasts to, you know, balance your plane out. Plus, you can also weigh it that way too.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much for showing that the second time. Appreciate it.
Yep. If there's any questions, just let me know. Like I said, it's real easy to build. Just a dowel rod and some string and 1x2, and you know, I use spider line. You know, it's not, you know, in a clunk out of an old tank.
So is this being suspended from your ceiling? You have a rafter. You have a
Yeah, I just got a hook. I just got a hook right up there. You know, you can. If with the most problem with this thing, with this right here, is getting it on your airplane. I mean, right here underneath here where the strings hit your airplane,
Right, right.
you can put tubing there. You know, so you know if you're scared of the weight of the plane actually indenting your fuselage and making a mark,
Sure.
you can put stuff on there. Now, if you want to see an easy way of putting this on the machine, is to have this already suspended while this is on the table. So when you have it on the table and you're hooking it up, have this already hooked up on your hook, hanging already. And then when you get it hooked up, and then hoist it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, does the whole thing hang from one point?
Yes, it what I do is this point here to this point is a perfectly 90-degree hole, just like how this is set up. And then just, you know, the string will go to a triangle all by, you know, right in the middle on its own, you see.
Okay, where's the plumb bob hookup?
Where's the what?
Plumb bob hookup.
Oh, the plumb bob hookup is right here. Here, let me move. Okay, it's right here. It's just a tack, a thumb tack that I got. And that way I can adjust this to go up and down. Because you'll want to take this and you know, different airplanes, you know, have a different height here, you know, or when you tie it off, when you tie this off, this will change the height. So I just put it as low as I can.
Yeah, so the plumb bob doesn't hang from the same point that everything else hangs from.
Well, this is the main point that hangs, everything hangs off of, right?
No, you gotta attach the plumb bob to the same knot and have it hang free from the one knot that everything else hangs from.
He has the plumb bob cut off that aluminum rod.
See this rod here?
Yeah.
Okay, this rod is perfectly vertical in line. See? And this dowel is 90 degrees. The aircraft is hanging off of this dowel rod.
Yeah. You might get it to work, but for sure it'll work if you hang everything from one knot and do away with all that claptrap in the middle. You can hang it from, I do mine upside down. I hang it from the three wheels and then suspend have a line from each wheel going to a knot, have the plumb bob going to the same knot. Then the plumb bob will point at the CG.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I don't understand how that thing works. I guess I could look at it, but my guess is it doesn't.
Is where you talking about hanging the plumb bob at?
You hang the plumb bob from the same knot that you hang the three wheels from.
Oh, you're talking about from here?
Yeah, if there's a single knot up there somewhere, a single point. You can't do that because you got stuff in the way.
Well, if I had this hanging right here, right? That would come out to the center of the fuselage, right?
Not necessarily. It'd come out to where your CG is. If your CG is off to the side, it would come off to the side.
Well, my CG is, wait a minute.
You got tip weight in there, so it's probably off to the right of the center.
My CG is from forward to aft this way.
That's
That's
one
what I'm
dimension.
concerned with. I'm not concerned with the plumb bob going to the left or right. It don't matter to me this way. The only
Why
point
not?
that matters to me is from forward to aft.
Yeah, you get both of them for the same price, so.
Well, what do you mean by both of them at the same price? What do you mean?
You
Both
get
left and right?
the sideways CG and the fore and aft CG at the same time. The plumb
Forward
bob will
CG.
play, huh?
I still, if it was hanging from this point here,
Yeah,
okay, so we're in the middle of this 1x2 all the way down, right?
maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you, right, this point up here where it's connected,
Yeah,
okay, it's hanging directly in the middle. That point is directly in the middle. This triangle. So if I hang the plumb bob from this point, it's going to go right through the middle, right down the middle of this 1x2 and come straight down. And that's where I'll be.
So are you trying to find your front to back CG with that, or you're trying to find your wing incidence?
I am trying to find my my weight, not my weight, but my balance from
Okay.
forward to aft. Nose heavy, tail heavy.
At a certain distance from the leading edge.
Yes, yes. That certain distance from the leading edge, from the
Right.
center of the leading edge back.
Okay, I see, I understand. what
On
you're
my
doing.
plans, I take and measure that with a not with a regular ruler,
Right,
but I use a seamstress tape because
Okay.
this is curved. This is a curve. So I
Oh.
lay this tape on my plans and I
Oh.
measure that.
so you're
And then
adding,
Oh, that's,
so you're adding weight to the back
that's clever.
till the plumb bob goes to the spot where you want, where the plane's level. Or taking away weight.
Okay, say that again. I missed it.
I'm saying by moving that, your dowel, that's moving the plane front or back, fronting back and forth. And if it's, then you'd have to add weight or remove weight to get it, the plumb bob to where you want with the plane level.
Yes.
How do you
Yes.
tell where you, with your bubble in the back?
Yeah, my bubble in the back, that's
Right.
what levels my plane. And the
Right.
reason why I do it in the back
Okay,
is
But you
because I
already
know
have-
that horizontal stabilizer, when I glued it in place,
right.
it
Everything
was
is
0-degree incident
right.
level.
So you have your incidence is already set. So you're not,
Yep.
you're doing your, that was already glued in. You did that already. So this is just to find your front to back.
Yeah, this is just to
Yeah,
tell me,
okay. I
this
see
is
what you're
to
doing,
show
yeah.
me if I'm nose heavy or I'm tail
tail
heavy.
heavy. Right.
And you're using the weight of the level as part of the ballast that you put on the tail.
Yeah, well, what you do is you can take that level there and weigh that level, and that level I think is like 1/10 of an ounce or less. I'd have
Yeah.
to tell you in grams. So you would have to add, that's part of your weight that you would have to add.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
and then you're worried about your right to left or your inboard and outboard weight when you fly it, your tip weight, you just, whatever.
Yeah, my tip
You're gonna
weight.
trim that.
Yeah, all I do here is I just put this line right up here.
Right. You put a little
Because if
extra,
not, because see, I've got a profile fuselage.
right.
My wing wants to dip like this.
You know, basically, I start out with a little extra tip weight and then hit the square corners hard and keep on removing tip weight until you stop seeing the plane hinge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside
But
corner.
for this purpose here, you know, I don't even really have to worry, I don't have to worry about the tip weight right now. I mean, it's
Okay.
pretty close. Well, yes, because it's actually rear of the center of gravity.
Mhm.
So to do this test, I would want the weight test. I would want the weight already in my weight box. I don't have it in there right now. So that could probably make a difference too, because 2 3/8 is about, a half inch. Well, it's actually more than that. It's almost
Yeah,
3/4 of an inch is where my box is.
right.
Over,
Right.
see, this is the spar.
So you're,
It's on this side of the spar on my wingtip. So it is aft
it's gonna
of the
add tail
center of
weight.
gravity.
It's gonna add you a little tail weight when you put your weight in your tip box.
Yeah, that would actually give me a little more tail weight.
Yeah.
But at least, if I wanted to make changes to maybe shorten this fuselage, or I want to move my motor back, I tell you, this really, for me, this is what does it to help me, so I can get it in my mind and get things right, where I can actually see it and I can actually do things. Because once you get this level back here and you add weight, you got to re-level this again. And then you'll see the change. You can see the change. You want me to take the weight off of it to see where, off the back there, to see how big of a difference that is when I do that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Take it off. Let's see what it,
Okay. All right, let's get this stabilized.
right. Yeah, take the weight
But
off the
you do
side.
understand about placing the plumb bob up here really isn't going to help me, because I need it off to the side.
Right.
So the only thing I got to be very concerned with is to make sure that this plumb bob is directly in the middle of the thickness of this 1x. So if this 1x is 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to have, what is it, 3/8 is the middle in between. So that's why I put this wire here, because see, this dowel rod, look what it does to my plumb bob line. It makes it go out of line.
You're kicking it
You
forward
see?
a little bit.
Exactly. So that's why I added this, to help me keep that plumb bob in line. Because I understand what you're saying, because that is very important. But we want it off to the side, so that way we can make our changes, because you get them other fuselages and hell, they're 2-3 inches wide sometimes. Now, we'll see what this is here. It's not quite 2.
Right.
It's not quite 2, but it's
Right.
pretty close.
7/8 or something.
Now let's remove this. Let's remove this weight off the back.
You're gonna remove the weight and then readjust your dowel.
Yep,
till it's level.
there's your 1.5 ounces.
Right now.
Now look what it did to the level.
Okay, now adjust your dowel till it's
Now what
level.
we're gonna do is we're gonna level this back up.
Right, and then go back to your reading.
That's pretty close.
Your
Yeah.
plumb bob.
Now we come back to the plumb bob.
Wow. Wow, moved an inch or half an inch.
Look how far that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
So I had some people, what they did was they took an incident meter. You can use that. You can use the incident meter if you want to level your plane up with,
Right.
Right.
but you got to make sure that this baby right here is directly centered over your center of gravity.
Well,
Because
how
if it's not, you got weight there that's you're messing with, you see?
Right,
The,
right.
the way I use, I don't even use, when I use my incident meter, I put that on the wing. And then I take the line level, it's like a bubble level like you got, and I put the bubble
Yeah.
level, I put the bubble level on that top bar. And then I take a bunch of books and magazines and I level out the plane to the bubble level that's on that incident bar. And then when I have that all nice and level and the plane sitting stable, you know, the wings level, then I go back to my stab. I take the bubble, I have another bubble level and on my stab, and I zero that out before I glue it. Instead of using
Oh,
that,
yeah.
instead
Well-
of using that laser they got on there.
I don't have any laser or anything, but
Oh, there's not a laser
what I
on that
do
one?
use is,
Mine has a laser
I
on it.
draw a 2 lines on the on my table, perfectly square, 90-degree angles. One going outboard to
Right.
inboard, and then
And then-
one going from forward and aft.
And then,
And I actually glue squares on my table,
right,
and I line everything up with the squares and push it up, and I push the squares real close,
Right.
and I tighten everything up with the squares. Then I level it. I do have an incident meter
right.
that
Well,
just sets right up here.
and then when I have it all set up on the
And then I
book,
glue it.
everything's level, I have a magnetic level that I put on the end of the crankshaft. I put that at 90 degrees.
Yep, that's what I start with.
Yeah,
I did this. I went to a swap meet and got me another incident meter, you
mhm,
know, and I cut it down, and that's what I bolt on to my engine.
okay,
So, and then my incident meter on my wing. And yeah, it usually, guys, I'll probably fiddle fart with it for 3 or 4 hours,
yeah,
making sure everything's fine. And then when you get it all fine, right, and you glue it back, you glue it, and you're like, ah, so great. And I went to go put my elevator back on the stab there. I glue my stab upside down.
Uh-oh.
That's what I had to tell you, that's what happened to the other plane, you know. But anyway, it's amazing how, to me, it makes everything where I have if I have any, you know, it just takes all my doubts away. It's like, boy, I hope this is right. I
Right.
think it is, but here I can actually see
Right.
that, okay, it just gives me more confidence to use this setup than the other ways. But like I said, gosh, I don't have any money into it at all, you know. Anybody can make this.
I have a question,
And I'm all
Tom.
about that. I like not spending money, that's for sure.
Same here. Hey, Tom, I have a question,
Because-
Tom.
Because actually, tell you the truth, I can build an airplane, not counting the dope, okay? Not counting the dope or the covering, but I can frame up a whole plane and hardware and everything for $16.
Hey, Tom, I have a question, Tom. That wire that's below the wooden dowel, what's that wire again
there?
for? Yeah, what's that for?
That's what the plumb bob is on. That centers my plumb bob.
he's centering.
That
his
me and
thumb off
I don't know the fella that was talking to me. I can't see him, so I don't know.
That was Howard Rush. That was Howard Rush.
Oh,
But
Howard. Yeah,
it's not
okay.
centered is the thing. That's not centered.
Yeah.
It would need to be directly below that rod to be centered, and it's not. It's coming off the back side of it.
He's coming off the
Yeah,
front.
right. So when I made the mistake of building it, this rod here,
Yeah.
what's the half thickness of 332? Fraction.
632, you'd be 364.
Okay, 332 is what?
364.
3
64.
Oh, 64. Okay. So the half of 64, that's how far off I am on my plumb bob. So down here, when I'm really at 2 3/8, which is 375, subtract 0.032 off of 375, and that's exactly where you're at. So if you make this, I needed to drill this hole back, that way by 332. Well, actually the 64 thousandths, I need to bring that forward to get this line perfectly centered
Mhm.
from the dowel. So I am not perfect,
No problem.
but
None of us are.
but I know where the air is, but unlike this, you got to add weight anyway or take weight off.
That
or
gets you
adjust
darn
it.
close.
And
That
I'm
ought to
talking
get you
about
darn close.
64 thousand sets. To me, I can subtract that off of my 2 3/8, or I can add it to my 2 3/8, and then I know exactly perfectly where I'm at.
Well, that's going to get you
But
so
it's
darn
such
close.
a-
If
it's
you
just
can't
so
figure it out from there, something's wrong.
Yeah,
It's just so small a fraction
right.
that it's really not really noticeable.
Well, all I use my balance machine for is course adjustment anyway. You still fine adjustment. I still fine adjust it at the field with some clay. And my airplanes, like I think it was Howard said one time before, my airplanes are just like Howard's. I'll have clay all over it until the week before contest. Then I'll take the clay off, measure it, find the lead, put the lead in the plane, and finish it up and get it looking neat for a contest. But to fly, clay works fine. Heck, I've seen an All-American senior. I got beat by an All-American senior it had a lump of clay big as a quarter. I had to be an ounce of clay on the inboard wing of an All-American senior. Now think about that a minute, the inboard wing of an
Right.
All-American senior. But
That has a
fellow
long
that-
forward wing too, right?
the what?
All-American has 2 different sized wings.
Yeah, those fuselage is way outboard. It's a much bigger inboard wing than the outboard section.
Right.
Yeah, but the guy flying it, Dale Berry's father,
Oh, yeah,
he can fly.
yeah.
He's we had a lot of fun for a lot of years till he got hurt, but he's a good flyer. He's a very good flyer. He won the nationals twice, I think. Was trying to do it 3 times with the same airplane. He didn't do it, but he
Phil,
came
you go to
close.
Brodak, right?
I hope to. Yes,
I mean,
plan to
did
be
you
there.
in the past?
Oh yes, I won old time at
You saw
Doug,
Doug Benedetti's All-Americans?
oh yeah,
They're gorgeous.
yeah.
Checkerboard.
Everything Benedetti does is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a plane.
Checkerboard.
Yeah,
I haven't seen an airplane that he's done yet that I didn't like.
he has like 3 of them.
Aeroglass. There you go. Aromatherapy.
Aerogloss.
Yeah.
Aerogloss. Where in the Sam did you find that stuff?
That'll make this move.
God.
Doug's been flying the whole time for a long time.
Actually, yes.
Oh man.
Hey,
You know-
Stephen. Thanks for coming in, Stephen.
You know, one of the crazy things I did years back, I had a whole bunch of old epoxy. I can't remember what we called it, but you used to buy epoxy real easy, the epoxy paint. And I couldn't get it. What?
Yeah.
I can't remember what brand it was, but anyway, a mentor of mine, a good friend and flyer, Al Raby, used to use that kind of dough. Used to use that epoxy. So I took what I had and put it in a box and sent it to Al. And he called and thanked me and all that, and I was tickled. But I thought he can use it and I can't because I can't get to part B. Then Class Coat came out, and everybody said, "Oh, well, the B part works with the old stuff." Oh well. Anyway, that's all right. Al could use it. It it worked out well. Al and I got talking after that, and I had always wanted a Bearcat, and Al got me the stuff for a Bearcat. I've got my Bearcat downstairs, so it worked out good for me.
Let me interrupt for a second.
Never hurts to help people.
Hey, Tom Creasy, there's a suggestion or question in the chat box from Dennis H. He said, just drill a vertical hole in the center of the dowel rod for the plumb string to pass through.
That won't work.
Yeah, that's true. I could, boy, that'd be a little bitty drill, wouldn't it?
Well, I got one. If you're going to do that, drill a hole, come to the bottom of that pipe, that piece of wood. Drill a hole in a dead center of that piece of wood. Get it started, and then go through the side. Then go through the side. Don't matter where it ends up. It matters where it is in the very center.
Well, you can't put it on the dowel rod because you got to turn that clockwise or counterclockwise.
Well, I'm saying go in and then come out the side, and you could miss that.
Hey, Tom, thanks for coming in. And Mark, can you elaborate, Mark? You were saying it wouldn't work. I don't know if people caught that.
No, I was going to say what Tom did, that if you drill a hole through the dowel and then you twist the dowel, that's gonna offset the weight.
Yeah, I'm thinking
that's going to move
metal.
the plumb bob further because the hole's going to move in the dowel.
Yeah.
Now, what if that plumb bob was attached with a loop, and you had that like that pin going through the loop into the dowel? So when you turn the dowel, that loop would
just slide.
Yeah, it would just slide.
Well, effectively, that that weight is being suspended on the wooden rod that he's got under the metal rod, because where it has to make a one turn and the other turn, its point of contact where it's actually swinging from is off the edge of that metal rod. So there's so all the length above it is Mox Nix. You don't need to worry about it. You can just attach it to that metal rod right there, because that's effectively where it is attached.
Yeah, I think that's what I do. Just loop it.
So is that the plumb bob string wrapped around that metal rod, Tom, or is just laying?
Yeah, no, I wrap it around
Okay, I didn't realize that.
See how I do?
I didn't realize.
Wrap it around.
Okay.
And let it hang.
Okay.
That also gets tension on it, so it's not going to pull off my thumbtack.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't catch that.
I want to be able to attach, to adjust it. You see?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
For different planes. But what I should have done was I should have drilled this. It doesn't matter which way off center on this dowel rod. I could have went this way or I could have went this way, but I should have went the thickness of this metal rod, which is 332, because see, after I loop it, see it's on the front side.
Right.
It's not perfectly in the center.
Right.
You see what I mean?
I do.
What you guys are talking about. It needs to be in the center line of this dowel.
I see.
That's the only mistake I made. Maybe you can see it better.
Well, you're pretty darn close. You're within 3/64.
I think it's pretty darn sharp. That's a neat idea.
Yeah, you're right. Within 3/64 of an inch. That's pretty small.
I was like, I knew this had to be centered, and I'm like, I really didn't think about it long enough and say, oh, I need to offset this a little bit to make sure I keep that line in center. But then I figured out, gosh, the dimensions of it is so tiny that when you're flying, sometimes you could put a ½ ounce on and not really feel a difference in your controls. Where you put an ounce on and, oh yeah, I can feel the difference now. Yeah. So see, there's kind of quite a bit of weight kind of difference that you can really put on these things, for me anyway, before I can feel it or make a difference. And you definitely don't want to put too much on the back and then you take off and you like stall out.
Right. Of course. Yes. Yeah. Hey, but thank you, Tom, for that demonstration. I appreciate it. I know you've done it before.
That's very neat.
Years ago, but thank you very much.
Sure. And the guy that's from, where's he from? 9 o'clock in the morning.
Indonesia.
He was talking about the wires. And he was talking
He's not
about these
there
two
right
wires
now.
when he's building the wing, right?
Yeah, he's not here right now. He stepped away.
Okay.
He's out. We don't see him. We just see his couch.
He's pretty new. Have you followed his postings on the forum? He's really an enthusiastic beginner, and he just repowered his airplane with a Super Tiger 40, which is heads and shoulders over what he had before. And he's really having some adventures getting to flying. So he probably appreciates everything you had to say, Tom.
Yep, I've seen him before. I can't remember when or how long it's been. But yeah, I tell you, I'm for the beginners, because this can be real overwhelming, because the building's okay, you know, but as you get into the finish, there's actually some different ways that people do things. You know?
What do you mean some? Lord, there's so many
Kinda
different
hard
ways
for
to
me
do it.
to-
There are people doing it.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
wondering if
it's
he
hard-
knows
it's
this
hard for me
could
to
take.
figure out my way.
Well, Tom, you'll always be for me because I'm a lifetime beginner.
Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
Steve.
Mark, how's things going with Pampa?
Thank you.
Well, very interesting, and I think optimistic. We had a Zoom meeting. I think it's the first time all the district directors and everyone else got together and could see each other. And I was pleased that 13 of the 15 invitees made it.
Cool.
And
Very nice.
yeah, so that was good. And I guess it was good enough because I suggested we do it again before the Nats, and they suggested we do it more frequently, once a month. So we already have the date. And I guess if you don't mind, I'll just tell you the main points of what we discussed. We'd like to increase Pampa membership. And I think to do that, you have to increase the value of being a Pampa member. I know it's only $40, but as I said to them, if someone came to me and said, Mark, tell me why I should join Pampa, especially since I never go to the Nats, I need to have a good answer. And if I can't answer that, they probably shouldn't join Pampa, with me being the president. So what I wanted to do was basically equip each district director with a kit to give them some idea of the kind of things they can do without making this a full-time job in two areas. One was there are guys right now who were Pampa members and currently are not. And I'd like to give them reason to come back. And there are a bunch of guys who've never been Pampa members. And I'd like to approach them and see if they see the value proposition. And then there's a second group, maybe like the young guy who was on here earlier. How do you find those people? And how do you get them into control line? So basically what I asked the group to do, we were going to write up Pampa used to have a brochure.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And to me, I think our role in Pampa has to change a little bit. Because right now the emphasis is on contest at the highest level of performance. We run the Nats and we're kind of responsible for contests around the country in terms of encouraging them. But, the size of Pampa is shrinking, and that's what bothers me. And I'm not someone to just say, okay, let it die. So I'm asking each of the district directors to carry a trainer plane in their trunk. Okay. And number two, to know, and I can get this information for them, so they know exactly every Pampa member in their district. They have a roster. Right now, they don't. They cannot tell you who's a Pampa member in their district, and that's just not right. Third thing, I think one thing that can help the future of control line is appealing to more RC clubs and asking them to cut circles. I've seen it done locally, and it works very well. It gives the club more members. It gives them more for their treasury. And one club in South Jersey I'm very familiar with, I used to be a member, they cut a circle and added 11 members, and all 11 are control line people. It just kind of came out of the woodwork. You know, we didn't know you guys still fly control line. So I just want to make the whole thing a little more organized. I told them I like them to get them a hat and a shirt. So if they're going to talk about Pampa, you know, they have a uniform. And I can't force them to wear it, but they all thought it was a pretty good idea.
What club is that in South Jersey?
It's in Salem.
Oh,
It's not far from the bridge going into Delaware. But two clubs called me within a week, and the other one is in Harrisburg, PA. And they want to put in a control line circle because they have a couple of members who are control line flyers, and they know they can get more. And their question was, how do you do that? What size are the circles, and what room do you need? And I thought it was a pretty reasonable question.
we had one guy from Harrisburg came to our speed race Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He drove
So
come to
it happens to be Bob Hunt's district. And I asked Bob, I said, Bob, I'll come up to Allentown and pick you up and let's go to Harrisburg. You know, let's help this guy. So I think things are really going in the right direction. I'm just trying to make it more of an organization that has a purpose. I think most of the guys seem to think their job was to get an article in the newsletter. And to me, it's a lot more than that. So I'm very encouraged. I have scheduled to call all 13 guys one-on-one, you know, because there's probably some things they don't want to say on an open Zoom meeting, you know, and I need to respect that. I just told them my goal was pretty simple, that in 2 years, when there's another president, I'd like to be able to say that the Pampa board and the Pampa members have made Pampa better than it's ever been. And then the guy who replaces me in 2 years should say, you know, Mark and his crew did a pretty good job, but we've gone to the next level. And if you don't feel that way, then you're kind of headed toward gloom. And to me, as I've said before, I think I owe the guys a generation before me a lot, who put control line stunt on the map. And now they're not able to continue it going, and not to keep it going is, to me, it's not even an option. It's just not an option. So I just hope more people see the light. I'm going to talk to Brodak and other manufacturers and ask them if they'll give Pampa members a discount. And I'm going to sweeten everything I can think of to sweeten the pie, to have people say, you know what, there's no reason in the world why I should not support Pampa. Okay. And I'm also looking into whether I can do a couple of Zoom meetings a year with anyone. You know, if you're a Pampa member, get on. You know, come on, let's chat.
Good idea.
Yeah, because, you know, there's no connection.
Right.
Right. If you don't have the pilots, you don't have an organization. So I think it's just, you know, thinking outside the box. I'm fortunate that I wanted to have this job, and two of my predecessors were kind of forced to take the job. And I think you're going to get a different output, you know, depending on what you think about what you're doing.
Sure, absolutely.
Right. And I know Dave did a good job of trying to keep the finances in order. Okay. You know, the magazine was too expensive to run. And then you get some people who make promises and things come up in their life and they can't deliver. And in a small organization, that really hurts. So, you know, it's an open slate, and we're just going to have assignments for each district director to, you know, think about things, call people. What do you think? Is this viable? And then in the July meeting at the Nats, is to go over these things. I don't want to go to the July meeting and give people my bio and say, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need that. I think what we need is to say, here's where we are. Here's where we think we can go. here are the first 3 steps we think we should take. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the way you validate things. And if they're not good ideas, we toss them out, start again. I just don't like sitting still. I'm happy to be the Pampa president. I don't feel pressured. Like you guys, a lot of you guys, I'm retired. I think I knew the Wright brothers, so I've been around a while. You know, and so Charles, in response, I was very encouraged. Several of the guys said they're looking forward to the one-on-one phone calls. And I told them, I said, you know, there are a few things we need to do, but it's not going to be a full-time job. It's going to be, you know, can each, for example, could each district find a new Pampa member in a year?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And my gut would be, I would sure hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
Okay. So maybe there's a number. You know, one of the things I struggle with is, how do you know if an organization did a good job? You know, how do you know in 2 years whether I did a good job or not?
It should be going stronger than.
If only half the people hate you, you've done a good job.
Well, I think I got that now.
Well, then you're doing a good job then, Mark.
Thank you. But
Mark,
yeah,
just as a comment, because it's something happened here a couple of days ago in regarding a hobby that I've never experienced before. I was showing a fellow, one of my local neighbors, a guy that I know fairly well, showing him my ham radio station, which also happens to be where I've got all my airplanes at.
Yep.
And he stood there, he looked at airplane and says, will you let me know when you take that out to fly? I said, are you interested in it? He said, oh yeah, I've been interested since I was a kid. I said, you must have flown an old control line kid when you were a kid. So I didn't, my brother did 3 laps and hit the ground. And I said, we call that a figure 9. And we got talking, well, now, as soon as I get my airplane set up to where I can take it out, he's going to go out and launch for me. He doesn't know he's going to launch for me, but he's going to go out, you know, now I don't have to build a stooge. But nonetheless, they're all around.
yes, they are.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're all around and you may not know it.
Well, you know, John, a week from, well, it was this morning. Next Friday at about 4 a.m., I get in my car and drive 13 hours to Triple Tree down in South Carolina.
Right.
And starting Saturday morning, a lot of the attendees, particularly those who are not flying, like spouses and kids, they come down to the control line area. Because I have 4 or 5 airplanes. Will Davis brings a few, and we do that all week.
Yeah.
We just get people on the handle. And I would say 30% of the flyers are people our age, okay, with the same story. Gee, I started with a PT-19.
Yeah, that's my story.
Right? And I spent $6 and I got a McCoy 35. And then somehow, you know, I was married and I didn't do it, but I didn't think you guys do this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? But if you're someone who still has maybe an old plane hanging up in your basement with ripped silk span, how would you know if there are people around you that fly control line?
Well, we used to take it over to the schoolyard and fly it.
You could hear where we were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You
Can't
could
do
hear
that
it.
anymore, though.
Yeah, it'd be very
So-
difficult because even like my hobby store where I go to, Mark, I don't think anyone in that hobby store, I shouldn't say anyone, there's only 2 people that know of control line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and I let them know, hey, anyone has asked you about control line, if it's still around, here's my phone number. You can call me anytime. I'll take phone calls. If any of your patrons want to know about control line, I'm the guy.
Yeah,
And so that's what I do. But
absolutely.
like,
That's
if they don't
awesome.
know where a hobby store is at, then that person who finds their old ringmaster with the ripped silk span, they probably don't know where to go because it's like,
Yeah.
you gotta find a hobby store, and
Absolutely.
most hobby stores don't even support control line at all. So it's a problem. And before you leave, I meant to give you Sparky's phone number last time you came on. Sparky had told me to give you his phone number. So I typed in the chat, our chat, not the chat on YouTube, but our chat in his Zoom meeting. I gave you Sparky's phone number. He wants you to give him a call.
Wants me to call him?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. The last thing I'll talk about, which just kind of dawned on me after the Zoom meeting, that, AMA has district directors, and I guess they're called vice presidents. Like mine is Jay Marsh, and there are a whole bunch around the country, about 11 of them. And they know the RC clubs in their area. That's their job, and I can get that from AMA. So I'm sending out an email to every AMA vice president saying, hey, right now I'm kind of running Pampa organization, make sure they know what that is. And we have the same states you do. So I want to introduce you to Derek Barry, in Georgia. He's one of the guys. And here's his phone number. And here's what we're trying to do. And why don't we just put our heads together? Because it's a win-win.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right.
And
It's going to be convincing the guys to be respectful to each other. I mean, back in the heyday of modeling or whatever, we had one hobby shop that catered to control line. One did RC. We had another one that was into pylon. And nobody mixed because they didn't like each other. Same thing you still, you see on Stunthangar stuff, piss on quadcopters or drones or this or that. And nobody likes each other in it. And that's the biggest problem. I mean, we were going to have circles put into the RC field here. They voted it down. The guys who do not like control line people, they wouldn't do anything for us or whatever and this and that. And I tried to get one with cars, RC cars. And that was a big taboo too. Now we have one hobby shop left here. All they do is RC cars. Everybody's like, why ain't there no airplanes?
Yep.
They don't want them.
Well,
because the RC car guys,
they don't like change. Then the issue is that's what I had too. They don't like to see change.
There are so many.
You have to know how to be persistent about it in a polite way and how to play their politics game and convince them so that they become accepting to it. And then something else new comes.
Who has the most votes in what area? I mean, I heard so many times about the place that did RC airplanes, and it was big. That's where all the clubs went stuff. Hey, you got too many car stuff in here. You can put in more kits. You can do this. Well, they ended up getting their own kind of hobby shop, some of the guys who did it. And I mean, now that hobby shop is gone.
Hobby shops are dinosaurs now.
And the only ones that are left are ones for the cars. If they would have catered and said, hey guys, that's cool. You have a different hobby, but can we all make it better? But I mean, they've sowed bad blood, and now they want the car guys to help them out or whatever. And they're like, screw that. You're never there for us.
Well,
Steve, go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
Steve, I was going to say though, is that times are changing, and the hobby shops are going away, and people are having to start to mingle a little better. I can remember when I was told, hey, when are you going to step up to real airplanes and learn how to fly RC? I mean, that was then. Today is a different day. The RC guys that I know and the control line guys I know get along pretty well. Heck, at one time I was president of the Utah Radio Control Club, and they knew I was an control line flyer.
Yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. Maybe I'm speaking on my experience where you came to our contest last year, and that was originally all an RC issue. I introduced control line to that site. They didn't like us being there. They didn't want change. They didn't want us in there at all. And it was kind of intruding to that until I was able to be persistent enough to show this area fits and this makes it work, and had to be persistent and play with their politics game. I had to join RC, learn how to fly RC, get involved with that, and show them that control line, and then still show them what a control line airplane is and get a chance to fly it every once in a while. But then show them, here, we can make control line sight in this section of the field. And they weren't too
Now,
happy.
did they say okay, or did the park system say okay?
the park systems eventually said. okay.
Right.
They
The part,
battled me.
it wasn't to do with the guys getting along.
The guys didn't want it. Paid for it.
Right, the guys didn't want it.
Let him finish, Steve. I know where he's going
Well,
with it.
The parks department said it was okay.
Well, look, here's my feeling about it. And I'll start at the Nats. Do you know the event that has shown the greatest growth at the Nats in the last 6 years? Control line stunt.
Intermediate?
Control line stunt. Okay? Every RC event, with the probable exception of sailplanes, is significantly down. And I know a lot of RC clubs, and there's not one of them that I'm aware of that's growing because of the age group. So I'm familiar with 2 clubs, very familiar with them. I'm a member of one, and they got questions from a group of guys that did these rock crawlers. Okay. And they said, well, we have enough property. If you want to build your area and you bring your crawlers, and if you're on 2.4, well, they got 60 new members, 60.
Yeah, because they brought
No
them in.
problem. They're off in their own little area. But look, if a club were to say to me, we're not interested in supporting Control Line, I'll give them a gracious thank you, and I'm going to move on to the next one.
Right.
I'm not going to be bogged down with negative people. I'm just not going to do that. Okay. You and I know that there is a place for Control Line. And all I can tell you, I'll go back 9 years, 10 years when I was fortunate enough to get the people that run Triple Tree to put in 3 circles at a cost of $70,000. That's what they paid. That's what it took to do those 3, which are gorgeous. They have sprinkler systems in every one. It's first class. Okay.
Golf grass.
But before I got there, it was an all RC event. All RC. So the second year, I started bringing these trainer planes. And that year, I asked Bob Hunt and Derek Barry, I got permission for them to do part of the halftime show in front of probably 5,000 RC people at the main line at Triple Tree. And I'll tell you what, these people gave them a standing ovation. They both flew the pattern. Bob flew it on his back. Okay, he was laying down on the ground. Derek was precise as ever, and people were blown away by how good a Control Line plane can fly. Okay, and that year, a group of us, including me, did 600 test flights for attendees who came down and said, "Can I have a turn?" 600.
Wow.
Okay, so you and I know there's a place, and I can't. There are always negative people. We have some in Control Line. You know who their names are.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the names before Dave Tribble said these guys may give you a hard time. Okay, all right, yeah, I'm okay. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I think that's probably tougher than running Pampa. I made it through that, so I'll probably make it through Pampa.
Whatever it takes to keep influencing it and making it grow, or bringing more members in,
But that's what I'm saying is that you got to talk to the Control Line guys and say, hey, you got to be decent to the RC guys. You guys can't build. You only like ARFs and foamies and all this. I hear this all the time.
Yeah.
It does nothing. Nothing.
You're not getting anywhere with it.
People want to be around each other.
I
not just RC. It's, we've had the argument on here, and
I bring a trainer airplane all the time
about how much better Control Line people are at building than RC people.
Oh, there's no question about it. Look, the guys that
that is an absolute lie, because I got friends that can outbuild these Control Line people. That their planes are much nicer, and most of the stuff that Control Line does was stolen from RC.
Oh, absolutely.
Motors and all that kind of stuff.
They do build nice. There are some people out here that do build nice. We have some really good RC builders.
Hell, they got scale builders that machine guns go back and forth and all kinds of stuff. I mean, they really put in a lot of time.
Sure.
And if anyone was at the old Toledo contest and seen the airplanes that were put up there, there wouldn't have been one control line airplane that would have won overall. Not ever once. That's how nice the airplanes are there.
Oh, sure.
But I'm telling you that, you know, with control line guys saying this kind of stuff, because I fly RC, Samantha flies control line, you know, and I heard all the stuff all the time. And it's like, you know, I can see why these groups don't want to be around each other. It's just not, they got to be civil to each other and not talk down about what the other person loves.
Okay, let's talk about something positive instead of all the negative crap.
Yeah, the way I worked it was
I got something.
Go ahead.
I got
Mike.
something positive to add. My buddy that was just here, my neighbor, he had to run home for a second, but I started teaching him to fly control line last fall. He got 5 flights last fall. We got 2 flights on our last outing, and we got 4 flights yesterday. We played hooky during the day and went out and flew yesterday. And I'm going to show you guys a video of his 11th control line flight ever. I'm going to wait till he gets back. He'll be back in a second. But it's his 11th control line flight ever. And I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with what you see.
Has he ever flown anything?
Yeah, he flies RC. He flies RC. Yeah. And we're coming to Triple Tree. We're leaving. We'll be there early Wednesday morning, Chris and me in his RV. And he's going to go to his first control line contest ever.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, I made it work. And the way it is with the RC clubs that are out here, I went and offered all my help to helping them. And any way they needed help with their airplanes or with engine starting or anything to that nature, I always lent a helping hand to them. And that's what made the commodity, and that's what made the friendship to them, where they became friendly and they were the ones who stick up for you and are on your side and make it really promoting.
That's what I'm saying. Both sides got to be decent. You got to
work together. You got to definitely work with the hobbyists.
And it goes both ways, Steve. It does go both ways, but darn it, you're right. We need to be better to each other.
Yeah, you have to. Everybody that stood up for us, I went and I helped them all out.
We are, after all, modelers.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's room for everybody, and if we don't stick together, I mean, RC, control line, everybody, we're gonna die. I
The
mean,
whole hobby's gonna die.
That's what I'm saying. The hobby's gonna die if we don't all pull together, because there's just, I don't mean just control line. I mean totally. There's not enough of us to support this thing unless we all pull together. It's just this. There's not 100,000 of us in every state like there used to be. I mean, there's not near the numbers. There's not near the numbers there used to be. And if we don't pull together, we're not going to make it.
I bring a trainer airplane or a beater airplane with me all the time. So in case an RC guy says he wants to fly, it's ready to go. If somebody just a spectator is looking at it and say, I want to try it, I got it and I'm ready. I support it. It's ready to go. I let anybody fly it.
Can I share a video real quick with you guys?
Yeah, go ahead. And hi, Chris. By the way, congratulations on your 11th flight. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's showing videos of me crashing as usual.
Which one of you two? Which one of you two is Wilbur and who's Orville?
It's gonna be a minute.
Okay.
All right. Here.
There we go.
How do you get it to hover like that?
Man, I've seen Navy carriers do that, but not a stunt plane.
All right, guys. This is my buddy Chris, my neighbor.
All right.
That I'm teaching to fly control line. And this is his 11th flight ever. And he's already doing figure eights.
That's awesome.
Awesome. We just did him on his 10th flight. He's got wing overs down. He's got inside loops down. And he just did his first figure eights on the flight before this. So
Now, what
11
plane is
flights
this,
and he's figure eighting.
What plane is this?
He's trying some wing overs there.
What plane is he flying?
Oh, hang on. Mike's muted. He can't talk when he's playing the video.
Oh,
It's automatically mutes him.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, 2 in a row. Very good.
nice day.
He had 5 flights last fall, and then we ran out of weather. And he flew 2 flights last time we were out. 8, 9, 10, and number 11 right here. And this is an old, what is this? I think it's a Jameson. It's an old Jameson that we're flying.
It's good.
With a 40 on it, LA 40.
Three of them.
Now we can get them stretching out those lazy 8s and get him flying inverted here before too long. Pretty amazing to me though that I know how many of us struggled with doing figure 8s and inverted flight, and this cat is doing them on flight number 11.
That's wonderful.
He is an RC pilot, so that probably helps.
No.
Oh man, he's flying inverted!
Wow.
He's flying inverted! He did
All right.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Unbelievable. Wow. Here he goes again. Holy cow.
He got
This
it
was
now.
not planned. This was not planned. Oh,
Oh.
there it is.
That's how you
Okay.
learn, though, Chris.
All right.
All right. It's bound to happen, man.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
job,
Oh,
Chris.
there you go. There's my man right there.
Yeah, he's
All
the
right.
man.
Good deal.
The crash,
11
the crash doesn't
Nope.
count when you're learning to fly inverted.
What's your name again?
Chris.
Chris.
Chris,
Yeah.
we'll find you a good instructor and you'll really take off.
Oh, man. Very good.
Chris,
Mike
Chris,
has
get
so
Mike's
much
son to
passion
teach
and just brings a lot to the hobby, and you got a great guy right there.
Yeah, what I got is I got a hangar full of beater airplanes is what I got. So we're gonna get him there. We're gonna get him. He's gonna fly beginner at Triple Tree
Oh, I am?
at Joe Null. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and then he'll be flying a pattern before the summer's out. I'm sure he will.
Get-
Well, Chris,
Get
I
the
have
combat kid
something
to teach
for
you.
you when you show up.
All right. All right.
All right.
Yep.
Good deal.
Mark,
Hey,
Mark, I got a
good,
question.
good deal, Chris. Seems like when you let off three motions with your finger, it'd be easy just to do the up and down part, but it gets a little tricky when you're close to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, I've done some, obviously some RC airplane flying, and I would say control line is a little more difficult for me. It definitely is. It's surprisingly difficult. But enjoying the hell out of it. I mean,
You're
and
looking good.
you're a great teacher here. So
Yep.
Well,
Too bad you
one
gotta
thing-
hang around Mike to enjoy flying.
It's fun. It is fun.
Get
You have to
Mike's
sort
son
of
to teach
figure
you.
when
You
you're
can't
flying
go wrong.
RC and the plane goes out and then it's coming back in to you, you gotta like reverse the controls. That's the same
Mhm.
thing if you're inverted.
oh yeah.
Well,
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
what,
Inverted, down becomes up.
I didn't think he was going to have the stones to just do his first inverted laps when I wasn't there with him. I was all proud he was doing lazy 8s, right? I wasn't expecting the inverted lap. And then when he went for 2, I was like, okay, whatever.
Go for
And,
it.
He forgot which way was up.
yeah, well,
He
he's
let the airplane was getting behind him. He wasn't turning fast enough. If you watch, you know, and that's.
oh, come on, Steve. Jesus. Why are you being so
it really is
critical,
true.
man?
You get used to going one direction.
11
You don't
11
get going
flights.
the other direction as fast.
That's the problem right there. You're saying RC guys, be nice to the RC guys, be nice to the RC guys. This guy's got 11 flights and he's
Yeah, I
flying.
know. All I said was
you're being critical.
40.
you let the airplane get behind you.
So,
Don't walk
tell
fast
me
enough.
what that means. The airplane was getting behind me.
Which is
By the way,
fine
that-
because you're ahead
Yeah,
of the airplane,
and
which will help guide the airplane more. So you shouldn't feel discouraged
Yeah,
about
you're
that.
catch, you
If,
know.
if the airplane's behind you, you're ahead of the airplane, which means you can control and guide the airplane further. So that's going to be to your advantage.
The LA-40 is a
You're
good
really
runner.
good.
I like
You're
the way
really,
that
really
ran.
good. Keep it up.
Okay.
You know, that's
So, like, you know,
that's really the hard part about flying.
You're gonna. Oh my God! I shouldn't have done this. Now we got 50 opinions going on here.
Second by
Yeah.
second. Can we do that?
Let's everybody tell him. Let's everybody tell him exactly what he's doing wrong. 11 flights in, and it all goes in. I'm sure.
When you're flying, think about it. When you're flying upright,
He's not getting dizzy.
you tell everybody, you know, to turn, keep ahead of the airplane. And it's like your body's here and the airplane's back there. But when you go the opposite direction, you got to get your body then ahead. Once you do it, you know, like you, it's just natural. But new guys, they got to think about staying, you know, ahead of the airplane. You teach them that when you're flying regular, you're not used to it the other way.
Well, I'll put that on the agenda for the next
That's
lesson.
good information.
Steve.
Thank
You know.
you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
I'll make sure he
That's
knows
something
that
you
next
and I
time.
all agree with. Inverted flight's a lot easier on a left-handed than it is with a right-handed because of the way a right-handed flies.
It's easier
Level
to
flight,
lead that airplane. That's
easier
my
flight,
whole
it's
point.
easier to fly.
I have a different hypothesis. hypothesis.
Here we go.
We get these 5 other beater airplanes I have and just let him have at it and sort it out, and he'll figure it out.
Get a combat
Figure it
plane.
out.
Just make
Absolutely.
sure he
He's
doesn't
not
do
that
any
far,
wing
he's gonna
under.
figure it out real quick.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
I'm just
He
curious,
really
guys.
came a long ways really fast, but it's just, you know,
Don't
It's not
criticize
enough,
us.
Steve.
it's
Is
not
it? It's not
criticizing,
enough.
just
right?
trying to help
Good
him
night,
out.
guys.
He didn't come far enough, fast enough. I'm sorry we let you down, Steve.
No.
Jesus
Let me
Christ.
tell you something. Critics, right?
Steve, I have a question.
If that doesn't happen,
Steve Hines. Steve Hines, can you
If
fly
I were
inverted?
you-
Steve Hines,
Yeah,
I'm just curious. Can you fly inverted?
yes.
Yes,
Okay, I didn't know.
yeah,
I was just curious.
Chris, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you might want to ask him that before he's giving advice, right?
And I'm telling you what, the big thing I found out is that I was trying to fly the airplane the same way inverted that I did upright. I'm always leading. My body's ahead of the airplane this way. My body's behind it. And it
We'll
would
get there.
way too
Listen,
far.
If you don't,
I get what you're saying, Steve, but the little nuances, you know, that those come with time, man. Those nuances and those things about body position and stuff, they come with time. He's got enough going on.
That was his second attempt at inverted flight.
I know it's a second
Well,
attempt,
my
but if you
first.
can help somebody to think about what they're doing, you know.
Don't over confuse him. Don't make him put too much thought into it. He's got to just figure it out.
I always ask people, would you like some
Welcome to
advice?
the snake pit, man.
It's like learning a golf swing from somebody trying to tell you how to swing a golf club,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No,
Pretty
hey,
much. Listen, just
let him
look,
have at it.
man.
I'm with you. I'm with
You
you.
and me,
All right,
man.
all
You
right.
and me, man.
If he's
Well,
Stay
afraid,
ahead of the airplane. I'll take that into
you're all
consideration.
criticizing that he crashed. Okay, to that point.
I wasn't
But if he's- if
criticizing.
that's
I was
not
just
gonna
trying
happen,
to help.
if he's afraid that that's going to happen, something's wrong because that will
Now,
happen. That ain't
I
the
thought
first
that
time
was
that's
an
gonna
8
happen.
out of a 10 crash. I mean, I would rate that pretty high.
That was a
I
pancake.
mean, I
That was
stuffed it
not
nicely.
a big deal.
No, that wasn't. That was just a pancake.
How many of us, when we learned to fly inverted, didn't do that one time?
All
I
the
know.
time.
I know.
Raise your hand if you never did that, their first time flying inverted.
Right.
Raise your hand.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tom
What's
Brown.
up?
And John Wright and John Miller, really?
Oh, I did it
Never done
wrong.
that.
I crashed a couple of them learning on it,
I
but I didn't have anybody to help me. I was all
First
alone.
time I did that and I flew inverted, my knees were buckling and shaking and everything was shaking. I was scared to death. I made it through that laughing guy out of it. So kudos to him. I mean, seriously.
Yes.
Oh, he was shaking like a dog shitting peach pits when I went out there, man. Yeah, he was. He was like this.
Oh, please.
It's gonna happen, and that's not the first time it's gonna happen. So
where'd Mark go?
Don't sweat it.
Hey, Chris.
Aching is no biggie.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where's Chris? I can't see him.
Here I am.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, first of all, you got a great instructor, and you know, put your faith in him. When you come to Triple Tree, you know, we have stunt camp on Thursday, and even if you're a beginner, with Mike and some of these guys who run stunt camp, some of the best in the country, you'll pick up more things. And I also want to thank you for lowering the average age of a Pampa member.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's younger than me. He's actually younger than me. So yeah, that counts.
It's a beautiful thing.
No doubt.
Very good.
Absolutely. I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Mark, I got a question right quick for I got to get out of here in a minute. But are there any plans yet to get Pampa Plans back up and running?
It was brought up that one of the things that would be an incentive would be to do that. In fact, John Miller and I talked about that probably 2 weeks ago. About getting downloadable files and making it simple. So that's not on the back burner. It's probably on the middle burner.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely.
There's about six sets of plans that I want to order when you get it going. So
okay.
You know,
I think, you know, well, look, I'll make this promise to you guys, and I've said it before. I promise you that, God willing, that I'm around in 2 years, that things are going to get better in the control line world. Okay, I'll make that promise to you, because it isn't rocket science. It's a little bit of work, a lot of common sense, and a little bit of politicking, and get people together for the good of the hobby.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Bring some paperwork with you to Triple Tree, and I about guarantee you'll get some people to join.
Well, I hope so, but I got to give them good reason to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
so
hey, Mark,
thanks for your time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mark, to interrupt you. So I'm going to end the stream pretty soon. But last time, or one time before, you gave your phone number out. You want to give your phone number out again?
Sure.
People, so they can get in touch with you who have questions.
Yeah, I'm very accessible. I live in Delaware. The phone number is 302-547-4917.
I didn't know. I thought you lived down there in South Carolina or North Carolina.
Everyone thinks that. No.
I didn't know you.
302-54 what?
547-4917.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark. And did you capture Sparky's phone number? Did you capture it?
I saw it hit it, and it says to chat.
I just sent it directly to you.
Okay, would you do that?
I did it. Just check inside the chat. It should be there. In the bottom of the screen, right next to the share screen.
So he's expecting a call now, Charles?
Not now, but a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I see.
But you left, and I was looking for you, and I was like, oh, darn it. I didn't get the chance to give you Sparky's number.
It may be late, but I'll call him tomorrow. But thanks for the phone number.
You're welcome. And I want to thank everybody for coming on in. And we had a really good show, a lot of discussions. I appreciate, Tom, you showing the Vanessa CG. I really do like that solution. And then Mark giving us updates on the Pampa. That was really informative. And all our spirited conversations was very good. I'm sure we actually, as far as our audience, we had as many as 30 people watching. We have 20 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. Please consider during these streams to donate through the super chat. Don't forget to subscribe and share the videos. That all helps the analytics of the show. And we'll be back Monday, but we're gonna just stop the stream. We're gonna go into what's called the after party, and we have some people that actually come in only during the after party. So it's a very popular segment, but you need to be a member of Stunthangar Forum to find the link to be in the after party. So we're not saying goodbye for real. We're just saying goodbye to YouTube in the live stream. So that being said, I'm going to say good night. We'll see you guys Monday. Come on back with hopefully something you built or